Hi, this is Tesla Tycoon. Today, the price of Tesla stock is $344. Okay. So, I said roughly yesterday, probably going to pull back to about 340s, and where are we today? About 340s. How does that work? I don't know, but it works. Okay. So I got 80K. Okay. We were at plus 11K yesterday. Now it's 87. Now we're poor. Okay. Um, So, why did you click on this video? Where's Tesla stock going now? Okay, so to know that, let's look on the previous time frames up to a month or more. So, see the month. What happened here? You get a liquidity sweep, large dip, trying to shake people out, right? Tons of consolidation, which means this is some bullshit, and we are holding. Made a higher high compared to here, so it's bullish, and it's holding the 430 right, 330 right now. 330s is the real support. Real as in if it drops under there, stock's gonna be more bearish than bullish most likely if it drops under 330. You can see right here 330, and when I say 330, it's a range 330, 320, probably 320. Because this is a volatile stock, it's not SPY. So 362, 343. Where do we go from here? So we're either going to go from here, 343, continue the bullish momentum, which I believe is most likely, and we are going to either chop in this range, maybe halfway up this 384 to 326, which is roughly about like 310, 320. We could get that we did hold the 324, but we could get a serious bounce to a serious drop all the way to 325. It's not that serious, but 325. That would be the 5% that we just got right now. 5% is coming back down, and that's possible. That does happen. I am prepared because my 365 covered call a month out, $800. Maybe I can sell that early. It's down 500 right now, but it's not really down 500 if you know how covered call works. Yeah, I got another contract. I closed out one covered call contract, the one I had yesterday, for a beautiful little, I'll just show you here actually, a little like $70 and then $80. We just made some money yesterday. $76 realized profit on a covered call yesterday. Then I closed, and then I closed one before that. 390, 375 for $48. So 48, whatever. Made like 100 and something dollars. And that's about it. So, where are we going? It looks extremely bullish. I would take your trend line and make it steeper and steeper. Draw a trend line on the bottom here. I just do it in my head. But yeah, roughly trend line, you got a straight trend line, and where are we now? We're pretty high. So as long as it stays here, even if it goes to 290, 298, it's 343 right now. Basically my average, 343 minus 5%, goes down 5%, it's going to be 325. Goes down 10%, it's exactly at 308. Funny how that works, huh? 308 was the previous support. About 5%. That was 325, the previous support. And now we're about here, plus 5%. Next resistance is about 560, 10%. Next resistance is about 360 or 380 is pretty much 5 to 10%. You do a 15%, next about 395 or 411 to 420 is a higher bullish type of resistance. But there's not too much resistance around here, which means we can make a new high if it does get to these highs. There's a little bit, but not really. It's more of like a sharp, it's like whatever big money manipulation just sharply dropped it, and it was a much a crazy move here, so it's really not surprising this pulled back. And then tons of, freaking COVID and bullshit, and then manipulation, and then we come back to the upside, and you're like, okay, we're going to make a higher high here to show there's bullishness, and that's cool. And then now we're doing some more consolidation, but we have a V-shaped recovery here on this move, which tells us we're getting something like this. And this is either going to, I mean, we made a higher high, I guess. Okay, so well, this is not a higher high. So we have a high, low, 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 gonna bounce, but this is still lower than the previous high. But where we are now, we are basically here. So I would look at this, and the way my autistic ADHD brain works, I'm a 200 IQ genius. So I would look at this backwards. So this here, about 350 where we are now, about 300, which is the previous support. This is about 330, 350 previous resistance right here. So we are kind of climbing around this resistance, and I think if we get a pop above 380, or I think the next resistance is about 380, 375, 380. But if we get a pop up around here, we're probably not going to go to the 400 resistance and then come back down like people are thinking. Oh, look, our resistance at 400, 415, 420, 430. Could pump to 500. We really don't know. 488 is the real all-time high. We could just go to 488. And that would be an insane move. $100 a share, I would make an extra 20 grand on top of this. I'd be at 30 grand or even more. I don't know. But, yeah. So, there's the upside. And you already kind of know the downside. And as long as you know the upside and downside, and know the current position size you have and where you are, you know what to do. So, when we looked at here, we thought this could have been a head and shoulders. Shoulder, head, another shoulder, but I'm like, nah. It's too much down here. We're probably gonna reverse. Yeah, and we did. And now, guess what? Now we're kind of more bullish again. Now we're at a previous resistance about 360. If we go a little bit higher, 344 plus 5% is about 360. So we can go up 5% by the end of the day, 5% by the end of the week, whatever it is. Probably go to 360. I hope we do. My option is going to be absolutely fucked when we go to 360. This is going to be down like, I don't know, like 1,500 or it's potential gain, whatever it says. I let it expire on the to the 18th, and when does that? 24th right now. Yeah, it's like a couple weeks, almost a month. I'll let this expire. I'm going to make a nice little $805 credit. It's either going to expire at 365, so I'm going to sell it at 365 plus $8, 373. I'm going to sell it for 373 plus this 365 plus this $8 is $373. And I'm comfortable with selling at 373, which is about 370 a share. Resistance, and that's about above this here. Well, this is on the 5-year. I mean, we're really not taking, from the 5-year, we haven't come back here. That's ridiculous. But so so you can see on the stock price here after COVID, whatever kind of fucked us, you can see here. So in the bullish momentum, this is the highs that we get, and then a serious low, but we're not in a bear market anymore, I don't think. So we're not going to see these serious lows. So I think this 300 here, 240s were the last time we're going to get this stock under 300s. I don't know if we're going to go back under 300s again. Maybe we do. We're gonna have some serious pain to get there. But so far so good. I think serious support, probably like 300. I mean, we really could just have a crazy base here and a really strong move in the short term. Don't know, but it's quite possible. And we're looking at this here, thinking that we're going to have a similar move, when in reality, the drop could be more closer to like a 300, like I said. And then, boom, 300. And then we get a nice little retest of 360. Eventually, 350, 360, whatever you want to call it, 340 in this range. And then that kind of holds, and we go blast into 400s, or if not higher, with some crazy momentum or crazy news, or the new vehicle that comes out, or the Model 2 that comes out, whatever you want to call it. Whatever bullshit ingredient you need to throw in there to make you believe why the stock is going up, the why it's going down. It's all bullshit. Look at this. Look at the chart. It'll make up its reasons according to the chart. The chart kind of moves, and then people react immediately. So see where the chart is probably going to go. You don't know exactly where it's going to go. I don't know exactly where we're going to go, but I'm holding shares to where if it keeps going, I believe it's going to go to the upside through my research. And if it goes to the upside, I'm going to be heavily rewarded, just like I was yesterday, where I'm up 10 grand. And I was up like April 21st. Wait, April 21st to June 24th. So, like, not long ago, I was down like 8,000. Now I'm up 8,000. So, things move quick if you position yourself correctly. You know how they say the river bank, the banks are like a river bank. They just set up themselves correctly where the flow comes in, the flow of money, and they're just in the middle of it and they're collecting the money. So, be patient. I mean, what did I just tell you? Rewind the video if you need. So, look at SPY, though. Look at SPY. Doesn't, like, what is this fucking chart? What is this on Robinhood? Like, this stupid little, like, 99% overnight. But in reality, 0.98%. SPY is up 1% on my one share. I shouldn't have trimmed those few shares yesterday, but it's up 2%. It was up 1%. So look at that. SPY irrationally. You got to know this about, or it's not SPY. Sorry, VOO, SPY, same shit. You got to know this about VOO. It's irrationally bullish. It's VOO. So when you think, all-time high, whatever, we're going to get rejected. No, it's probably going to be irrationally bullish unless the market's not bullish. But it is bullish through this momentum. You can see here after this move, extreme move here. Now we got a bunch of retailers, blah, 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 whatever. Okay, it's bullish. Now that we're into resistance on VOO, every stock is different. On VOO itself, SPY, sorry. Let's go to SPY real quick because most people do like SPY. Goddamn normies, it's okay. Excuse me. Okay, SPY's at 606, right? So you guys want to know Tesla and SPY. This is a Tesla channel, but you got to know where SPY is going to kind of know where Tesla's going. In the sense of, if this shit pulls back, Tesla might have a little pulley backy too, okay? So, SPY. So look at this. Strong move down. Not much sideways before this weird little move here. So this weird move here is kind of like this, kind of like a manipulation, kind of like, false bear move here. Kind of. But on the 1 year, the 5 year, you can look at SPY here and you're like, okay. And then you're like, okay. So, okay. So most likely, I don't want to lie, but the 5, it looks like he might visit. We might visit, brother, 570 again. But if we visit 570 again, that's going to be a little painful for a lot of you guys. But that's about a 5% pullback from on SPY. A 5% pullback, it can happen. Could just keep going higher, but if it goes higher, if it's 5-6%, whatever, a little bit more irrational or whatever, 5-6%, I wouldn't be surprised. And guess what? It's not hurting me. SPY and Tesla, the people that get caught, in Tesla maybe a little bit, but the people that get caught, into a 285, a 290 drop from buying at the 350s or buying at 400, shit, it's a fucking painful. But should you have really been so heavy at all-time highs? Probably not. I'm pretty heavy right now, but we're not at extreme all-time highs. We're pretty coiled up. We're at a healthy, what tells me that it's healthy? Support, resistance, trend lines, yes. Some thickness, some consolidation, some health. Not just the stock, but also the fundamentals are extremely strong on Tesla, and the chart price looks quite nice too. But also, looking at this tells me health, because I'm seeing kind of what I've seen on the 5 year. I'm seeing a lot of chop, a lot of consolidation, which is what? A lot of retailer buyers buying the stock. It's not just some, this is a lot of manipulation, yes, but this manipulation was necessary to push it out of this range that it was kind of stuck in. And you can see a lot of the small moves here, very tight small moves. This is kind of just all the retailers. And when you see a lot of the tight small moves, what happens? We made a lower low here, and there was a bunch of tight small moves here. Or are we gonna, we probably were gonna come down to this base to really test it, to see if this was a true support at 200 here and 215. See, it's not perfect. 215, 220s, whatever. and then it held it, and then 253 went to the previous resistance, and then it get rejected so it can build some liquidity. And are we going to go to the bottom here, 163? Kinda, but we're also going to fake people out and go to 150, a little bit higher, but it's a higher high, a higher low. So as long as we get a higher low, which is like fucking, goddamn 200s or some shit, 300s, this shit's still fucking bullish. I think as long as it holds over 300, it's really bullish. And so any serious move, but just because it's really bullish, when I see it do like a little spiky like this, sorry, let's go to a 3-month. This chart being accurate, yeah. 3 months. So when I see a spiky like this, 322, boom, to 350, can expect a little pulley to come back. So what is that? That's 24 to 35. 24 to 25, let's say 10%. This right here, 7. So let's say 10 to 30. 10 to 30, 20% move. 20% move. Where did it pull back to? 276, 284, 10%. It basically gave back the entire move. Why? Because the manipulated money that pumped the stock kind of pulled out, and there wasn't enough retail to really keep it high. But I mean, later on, I guess we did eventually catch, and then retail did come in, and we're still going sideways. So it's kind of like a game of. I mean, this is just the way I see it. Maybe it's not. Maybe it's a whole different way why the stock market moves, but the way I see it is a way that it does move. And it's like a game of cat and mouse. The manipulated money, the large moves that, how do you know what's large and what's not? You got to know the stock like the back of your hand. So large moves, kind of manipulated. Probably manipulated money. Smaller moves, probably more retail. It's that simple. Just taking a walk here. Okay, so as I said, it looks bullish, but hold on here. Good thing I made it to the end of the video. Or not the end yet, but hold on here. So just because we got a 10% move, let's go back to the 3-month. We got a 10%, so we came back to the base when we had a basically 20% move. When we have a 10% move here, are we going to come back to the base? We'll see. So far, it looks like we had a nice strong move to get out of this short-term bullishness and back into the short-term bearishness, and now we're short-term bullishness again. So, which is good. So I think we are going to get some nice irrational push, either past 362 and then back down to 340s, 330s, 340s, or and I hope that happens. I hope we get a nice little push to probably 360 or so, 360, 370, which could be a nice little, like a right here, like the price level is like a little bit higher than the 360, and that'll be like a higher high in the 3-month, short term, whatever. Even look at the year to date here. So right here, a little 360. If we get a 370 right around here, and then some more chop, and then I hope we don't fucking revisit 332. We probably will though. Because we want to make sure this is a solid point. But I mean, most likely, we kind of know it's a solid point because it did bounce off 380 again. So, I mean, 300, yeah, probably. We don't really know, but this is something to watch out for. And, yeah, probably goes to like, I don't know, makes a higher high, whatever it is, whatever you want to call it. Goes up, I sell another covered call. Goes back down, I make the money on the way down. I try to get out of the option. Now I only have one option here. I can get 2 because I have 200 shares. Try to get out of the option, the covered call, and then make some money on the downside, basically. And if I need a hold, I hold the stock, and I don't do any covered calls. If I, you kind of just got to go. It's kind of like a weekly. You just got to see where the stock's going. But Tesla, though, gorgeous. 33% on the 3 months. Where's SPY on the 3 months? 6%. Where's NVIDIA on the 3 months? 22%, almost like Tesla 30. Where's Palantir? 50%, goddamn, beating Tesla, okay. But you're a volatile, crazy motherfucker, so I don't know. A month, 12%. I mean, that's good. I mean, this is just erratic. Like, how am I even going to, like, to read this, you're like, all right, I'll buy here because it's a previous, little 112. A little bit higher than 112, so like 116. Where's the 112? Oh, 108. I'm gonna lower it a little to fake people out, and then yeah, then a strong manipulation move when they found out that was actually holding. Then rejected at 133 because 120, a little bit above 124. But how do we know that? 130? I don't know. But okay. So what is this? 57 to 74. Jesus. So 60 to about 15% move right here. Jeez. And then a 15%. And then it's just having some retail chop right here. So right now it's a little bit over. I don't know if it's overextended or not, but I would wait till we get a pulley woolly backy wacky, probably back down to 60, probably a little 20% pullback, then try to buy here at this somewhat of a base if it does come back down here before the manipulation move. 130, yeah, about 130. But screw PLTR. I mean, not screw it, but I like Tesla. I'm gonna keep all my eggs in one basket. 98% on Tesla, not some other bullshit. Yes, I'm up 152% on Meta. I just bought some Meta when they changed Facebook to Meta, and I'm like, oh, this is probably gonna. I mean, the stock was down horribly, but I'm like, okay, like this gotta mean something in the future. If the last name was Facebook and they just changed to Meta, I'm just gonna buy some Facebook right now, and it's up 150% from that point. And of course, I trimmed some. That's why I have like half a share or 0.6. But it's still cool to have. I'm not going to sell that. And then a little bit of TSLT. I just bought this to test it. It was up like 30%. Now it's up 25. But I just want to buy 2 shares. It's a leveraged version of Tesla. Don't recommend this. But yeah, I probably should buy some here. But nah, screw it. But that's basically it. You have any questions about Tesla stock?